The following program is an OCAmedia community-produced episode of Oregon Life, and we would like to thank our sponsors, Torhorse Insurance, the Oregon Brooklyn Optimist Club, and the Oregon Freemasons. We are proud to have you as our sponsors. Hello, this is Frank Caruso, producer of Oregon Live here at OCAmedia. Junior Achievement of Wisconsin is on a mission to inspire and prepare K-12 students for economic success and future careers through dramatic hands-on learning experiences by bringing real-world insight straight into the classroom through passionate volunteer mentors like our very own Tim LeBrun, as you will see in this wonderful conversation Tim has with the students. Later, you'll meet some people from Junior Achievement. Enjoy this episode of Junior Achievement here on Oregon Life.
Hi, I'm Tim LeBrun, and we are here at Prairie View Elementary School. We're going to sneak in and talk to the second grade class I've been learning with, all about the community and jobs and what our responsibilities are as we get older. Talking to some people this weekend, and I was telling them about all the things that you had learned so quickly, and so I wanted to come back and show them how quick and how great you learned what we talked about when we were together. Do you remember when we got together, we started with understanding what is a community? That's exactly right. And what are different examples of a community? Yes. Yes, places where you belong. Ava. People in the Army. That's a community. That's exactly, yes. Our class is a community. That's exactly right. This town is a community. Yes. This school is a community. So you learn that all so well. And so when we stopped talking, we didn't really stop talking about a community. We went on to the very next thing, and we talked about what people do in the community. First, we talked about jobs. That's exactly right. What were some of the jobs we talked about? Yes. Like a pizzeria guy. Thank you, Sully. Yes. Charlie? A farmer. Yes, that's exactly right. And? Yes, working in a hospital. What kind of people, what kind of jobs are at a hospital? Yes. A nurse, that's exactly right. Ava? The doctor, exactly. So we talked about jobs, and as we get older, we all get to have a job in the community. And each of those jobs requires a skill. That's exactly right. And skills are very specific to that job. Understanding what food is good for people to eat, or what medicine is good for people who are feeling sick. So understanding what those skills are, very important. We all talked about skills when we talked about working in the pizzeria, because not everybody made pizzas, right? Some people did what? Some people were farmers, and they provided the ingredients that go on the pizzas. Bill, what do you think? What were some of the other things? What were some of the other skills in the pizzeria? The person who makes the pizza, exactly, and read the recipe. Yeah, it's exactly right. Those are specific skills. And when you're working, remember when you worked in the pizzeria, everybody made some pizza. And what was the last thing we did? Because I paid you for working in the pizzeria. I paid you yes, we got money for working in the pizzeria, because some people make pizzas, but those people need to go to the grocery store to get food for their family. So they use that money to do other things in the community. And we talked about two different things to do with that money. One of them is a want, and one is a need. Give me an example of a want. Yes. Candy and toys, is that a need or a want? That's a want. How about a need? Sully.
A need is like water and food.
Water, food, those are needs for sure. Absolutely. So we talked about needs and wants, and then we talked about when we get that money for making pizzas, we can buy needs and wants, but we can also buy services or goods. Give me an example of a good. What is a good?
Something that you can like.
Something you can hold and take with you. And what's an example of a service? Yes. You can't necessarily hold it. So when I go and get my haircut, is that a service or a good? That's a service. That's exactly right. So we talked about goods and services. That's exactly right. And we talked about the businesses that provide those goods and services. And there's all kinds of businesses in our community, aren't there? There's grocery stores and banks. There's clinics and automobile mechanics. There's pizzerias and Quick Trip, of course. Lots of different businesses. And so as we talked about making things, goods and services, and getting paid money, we use that money to purchase the things that we don't do, right? We use that money. And oftentimes when people get paid, the first thing they do is they put their money in the bank. Yes, and remember, what was one of the things you got in our very last meeting together? A piggy bank. Because that's how we save our money, so that we have it someplace saved for when we need it sometime in the future. So we talked about how we use a bank or a credit union to save our money. Then one of not the last time we got together, but the time before that, we talked about responsibilities, because as a community, we all have responsibility to make our community better. We all are responsible for doing those things. So we talked about some of the things that we're responsible for. Do you remember some of the things? Yes. We're responsible for other people. Remember, we talked a little bit about trash and the dog park and more benches, more trees and flowers. We talked about all those things. And then we also talked about the fact that we can't do it all at the same time, right? And so we had to take some time to vote on what things were most important as we became more responsible when we grow up, right? We talked about voting. And how do we vote? What do we use to vote? Brigley. We used a ballot. That's exactly right. Do you remember the things that were on the ballot when we voted? Charlie, do you remember one of them? Yes, it's a list of things that we have choices about, and there's a little box for us to check one of those choices, the one thing that's most important to us. And we used a ballot to do that. What were some of the things on the ballot? Yes. More benches was on the ballot. That's exactly right. Go on. More dog parks. That's exactly right. What was another? Safia. More trash cans. Those were the three things that we voted for. Does anybody remember what got the most votes? Bill, what got the most votes? The dog parks. That's exactly right. We all voted to improve the dog parks. And so remember, that process of voting on which things in our community were most important were important for us to vote on, because those things have to get paid for some way, don't they? Do you remember how we pay for those things that everybody shares in? We pay for them with money, and remember, we pay for them in taxes. That's exactly right. Remember when you made money at the pizzeria? I took a little bit of that money and we put it in a place where the government chooses, with your help, with your votes, to put money into things that are most important for all of the community. Do you remember that? And we decided, when we voted on those ballots, to put a little more money into dog parks. Does that mean we're not going to have more trash cans and we're not going to have more benches? Is that what that means? No. What does it mean? We're going to focus on the dog park and we're going to keep those other things for the next things to work on, because those were clearly important items, weren't they? So I mentioned when I came in that I was talking to some people this weekend and they couldn't believe how much you had learned in such a short time. And I just wanted to show them that you learned a lot. So thank you for having me back in. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed working with you. Does anybody have any questions for me before I go? Charlie. This is my last time, probably, but I will see you because I'm part of your community too. So I'll see you in the community, and when I do, I want you to come up and say hi. And I might ask you one of these questions when I see you, okay? Any other questions? One last one. Do I live in Oregon? I do. I live in Oregon. And a long time ago, I had kids who were in second grade. And one of them was at this school, Prairie View. One of them was at Netherwood. And two of them were at Brooklyn Elementary. So we got to see all of the elementary schools in Oregon. So, well, thank you for taking the time to show all these people what a great job you did learning with me. Thank you. All right. Nice to see all of you. Have a great week. Thank you, Mrs. Mayne.
Hi, I'm Lori Astell, Director here at Junior Achievement of Wisconsin South Central Region. And I'm here today with
Sandy Wareing. I'm an education manager for our region.
Today, earlier, we were talking with Tim LeBrun, and he's been working closely with our second grade classroom. But what you might be wondering is a little bit more about Junior Achievement. Junior Achievement, as an organization, has been around for more than 100 years. In fact, we're both here locally, regionally, and across the globe. But you may not know a lot about our programming. We offer programming in financial literacy, work and career readiness, and entrepreneurship. What started off as an outside of school time activity has been closely affiliated with schools throughout our region since the 80s. We started as a company program building companies for students in high schools, after school, and now in fact are leading lessons K through 12 in a classroom near you. Sandy, tell us a little bit more about it.
I once was a classroom teacher, and then I was a full-time volunteer, and now as a Junior Achievement Associate, I've gotten to see this program on all angles, and I can say with all of those voices that Junior Achievement does a fantastic job of spiraling through the curriculum. It starts in kindergarten talking about just your family unit and what that means in the world, and then it grows out to from ourselves to our family, and then the city, and then the nation. Does a really good job of teaching kids where they are in the world and how it relates to finances in the world, from all the way at the beginning of wants and needs up to what the difference between a debit and a credit card are. As the kids get bigger in middle school, they start talking about career readiness and learning their soft skills and interview skills and the things they need to bring to the table for those conversations. In the high school setting, we start to teach them about principles of marketing and running a cell phone business. And we just finished an event where we did a stock market simulation where the kids got to day trade their stocks for 60 days that were 60 seconds long. They started with a portfolio and ended the day with their greatest gains or greatest losses. So it does a really good job of starting where the kids are and expanding with what they understand and what they can learn with the world.
But what's most important is really emphasizing how that curriculum comes to life. And Tim's a great example of that.
He did a fantastic job. So he did second grade, and he got to go through, as you just saw or will see, the vocabulary and how that fits into their daily lives. Learning what a community is and where they fit in a community, learning what a job is and that they get paid, and that when they get paid, they have to pay their taxes. And with their taxes, they get a vote in what happens in that community. That particular lesson teaches the kids how to run a pizza business. They have to take orders and put the toppings on the pizzas and then sell their pizzas and then gain the salary at the end. It's really, JA does a really great job of gamifying many of the concepts for younger kids especially. And then as the older kids grow and understand more, they get to add it to real life applications. We have a program, Excellence Through Ethics, and we talk through dilemmas. You have a situation and things come up and you have to decide what is the right thing to do for everyone involved, because sometimes that's not always clear. I think one of the missteps that we have in our nation is the financial inequity. And some students get great conversation at home and come out of their homes ready to understand and learn and buy a house and buy a car. Some students don't, because their parents may not have heard that too. If we can get this financial literacy in the hands of kindergartners all the way through high school, what a different citizen that will be that comes out ready and financially savvy than someone who comes out not understanding the difference between a credit card and a debit card. If we can get in, lay the foundation, and change the conversation, it will change the needs of the people that are struggling.
Thank you so much for taking the time to connect with Tim, Sandy, myself, really with the Junior Achievement Organization as a whole. We really appreciate you learning more about it. If you'd like to learn more about personally getting involved, we encourage you to check out our website. Whether you're interested in being a volunteer, interested in having junior achievement in your classroom, or for your student in your life, please feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to connect with you and to help you learn more about our organization. Again, you can reach out at our website on the screen. Again, thank you, Sandy and Tim, for leading the classroom today, and to this incredible great group of students that you heard on the screen. We encourage you to get involved, and we hope to hear from you soon.